Hey, hello everyone. Welcome to Elliott Wave Cafe. It is Saturday morning here about 9 o'clock in Chicago. We're going to be taking a look here at our regular weekly market review. I wasn't really connected to the market this past week. I was out in Florida for a few days, kept an eye on things, but not really doing a whole lot. Yesterday I was a bit more connected in the morning, and I started reducing, quite a bit of my long positions. As you can see in here, I think it's time to get a little bit defensive. I mean, there is no other way to look at it than, to see clear breaks and market kind of holding below their 50-day moving average. We'll take a look at the wave counts. They really haven't changed a whole lot, but I think the market is telling us here that a period of correction is upon us, and we got to be patient and wait for clear signal that the buyers are coming in. That really hasn't happened here. So if you look at this picture where we're looking at the Nasdaq Composite, S&P, Dow Jones, and NYSE, they're all below their 50-day moving averages, closing near the lows, breaking key zones, and it's hard to ignore this type of an action and just, put your hand in the sand and just say, oh, everything is fine. The market here is continuing to be in a distribution period, and we have to play a little bit of defense. So, we'll go to the technical page. We'll take a look at the wave counts. In terms of those, nothing really has changed a whole lot. We'll also take a look at Bitcoin shortly, but let's start with the Nasdaq Composite. Again, not a whole lot has really changed. I mean, last week we talked about this three-wave setback, and that it would probably going to finish and try to rally. Did rally for a little bit, but it failed at the previous high. So, is this an ABC, X, and then we have another ABC to finish a fourth wave? It's very possible. What's clear is that we did not rally after the three-wave setback. So now, we're either having some kind of a diagonal in here that's could be leading us lower, right? You're looking at this, it may be a little bit of a pullback, and then we start to really sell off. Or it could just very simple be, like I said, an ABCX and another ABC. And then, we just do more of a complex correction, a little bit more in here, and then, then we start to rally. It's hard to say, which one is going to pan out. That's why we're watching it day by day, and we're going to watch for those signals where you close up on the day, you have serious volume, you maybe crack above a 20-day or something, or you have, several days of buying coming in to tell you, hey, the market is probably bottom. But for right now, there's no indication of this, on these charts, but the wave count is still fine until you're really breaking below the top of this wave one. Now we can go and take a look and see what would be let's say a fib zone. I always kind of like to look at those 4v3, so that would be about 18,700. You can see there in green, or you can come down to about 50% and 18,350. But the deeper you get, the harder it is for this to still be considered a fourth wave, and then we would have to look at some kind of an alternate. So bottom line, I'm still fairly confident in the discount, but willing to change quickly if the market is telling us different. So you can still have a good view of a positive wave count, but in your account, if you see things breaking and kind of, a bunch of stops getting hit on the stocks and stuff like that, that means that it's time to take a defense and just loosen up on positions. Let's take a look at the S&P, and that's kind of on a similar structure, although I have it again on a different, maybe a little bit on a different, let's say on the wave labeling in terms of the degree in here. So probably this fourth wave, magenta, whatever this color is, it's developing. We still have a bit of room. I mean, clearly, this looks more and more like that head and shoulder that it looked, I think last week when it kind of first started to develop, and now we're breaking below that, trying to close below it as well. Let me just let my cat in the room again. This is making noise at the door. Hold on a second. So yeah, we're breaking and we're, kind of holding below that line. And the next obvious level, it's, kind of down here, between like at about 5650, maybe even, close to 5600 would be a level where this market can probably start to travel again. One of the interesting things here is this: if this is some kind of a diagonal, right, and or a series of ones and twos, we can expect larger declines, but that's kind of hard to tell if that's going to happen or not, right? It's just an observation based on Elliott wave structures. Then you look at the what is the next one here? The Russell. I mean, it's been holding a little bit better, I would say, but it's still in this channel, this wave one. It's kind of funky. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in a diagonal here, then a 2, 3, 4, and 5 for the wave one. A nice ABC in here for the wave two. Not more than 61.8. And that's kind of right there at about 2160. So, this one is also on a short leash. It's been a very tough index to trade, to be a part of. I've tried it several times, but it continues to fall apart. I was looking, I'm like, how can we count this, in more of a bearish way and say, that if this is a B wave, right, and let's say that's a wave A, and you do A up in B, down in C, that would be a massive crash in small caps. And I would not be, let's say, opposed to that if you would see interest rates, shooting up 5%, 6%, whatever on the 10-year, and then, this would go down fairly quickly. You could have maybe like an ABC X, W, WX, or even here, you can have like a ABCX ABC for a W. I guess that's how I would go. ABCX ABC, and this would become a wave W. And then you would have another X in here, WX, and then a wave Y. Something like that, I guess. Or the ABC, you would have to label it W, X, Y. Yeah, it would be kind of a triple, right? ABC, so that's one W, X, ABC, Y, X, and then another, I don't know, A, B, C for a Z. So W, X, Y, X, Z. Some kind of a complex correction upwards. And then some kind of a B wave here. This would be like B. And then you would start to kind of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2 or something. And then you become like a larger decline here. Because this would be then, if this is a 3 wave, right, that would be like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, almost like an ABC, like a large flat, and then you go upwards. Hope it makes sense. You might want to rewatch my rambling here, but that's the idea of some kind of a B wave to the upside. So all right, so that's it on this. We'll take a look at the wave counts on Bitcoin as well, but let me go to the technical page and just kind of see how everything looks in terms of the weekly time frame. So NYW, NYA here, so the NYSE right at that 40-week moving average. So that's that's just holding. That's the trend line. If we lose that one and close below that one, that's a bit of a danger. You're also at the 50 RSI in here where the NYSE comes in. So we're going to watch and see how we close the following week. That's very important. Then we take a look at the S&P. Still a while to go, but that's the trend line to watch, obviously. That's that 200-day moving average. We're closing now below that 10-week. That's the 50-day. After a couple of weeks where the market didn't do a whole lot, right, the distribution here continues. So, it's really nothing out of the ordinary. It could be a simple basic retracement, like a fourth wave type of a thing. The RSI is still above 50 on the weekly. We briefly dipped here back last year when we made this low below that 200, below that 40 week, and then so if I would look for something, I would look for something like this, like a candle that would show serious buying coming off the lows. and that would give me confidence. Okay, we might be ready to move to the next leg upward. So we got to wait for that. First, it would start on a daily, maybe with several days of buying, and then, we will see how we will close on the weekly, and just got to be patient. Nasdaq Composite, a bit stronger, right? In here, you can see that we just closed below that, but the uptrend still intact. I mean, this moving average is still nicely pointing upwards. For it to turn, it would take, I think, something that will look something like that you had back in 2021. The moving averages have to converge a little bit better, so still okay. Dow Jones in here is the closest one, so this is the one that's been losing a lot of ground and is the closest one that's coming into the long-term moving average in here, so that's at about 41K. The RSI is right there, so if any buyers are interested in starting to kind of get into getting value and buying the stocks in the Dow, this is the level kind of that they need to hold between here and the 200-day and the 40-week. So there is an opportunity here, but no signals yet from the market in terms of buying appears. So we got to be really patient to see if that's coming or not. And then IWM, it's right there. RSI just hovering between 50 and 70. So once again at 50, right at a 40-week previous support. So I think there's a huge opportunity here if confirmed by price and by buying coming in. So we'll watch for that closely and see how that pans out next week. But you've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, about a couple of months now that it's been almost declining, or since it's made the high, because the best couple of weeks we're just kind of holding above that average, but now we close below it, so below those lows. All right, so we'll keep an eye on that, and then Bitcoin in here, and then we'll go and take a look at the wave counts as well. Still looks fine. I mean, yes, maybe about 3 weeks ago you had a big sell of that maybe 110 level, whatever the high was, and that came on, let's say, pretty high volume. So that told us, hey, the market, it's kind of stopped going up, and it might take a period of consolidation in terms of wave counts. I think we're in still some kind of a fourth wave developing in here, but we're holding above that 10-week, not really a close below. The RSI is still fine. So it's not doing anything wrong from this price perspective on the weekly. Now, if we go to the wave counts and we take a look at that, weeklies are still fine. I'm still looking for higher prices from the structure, nothing wrong there. From the daily, we played around and, with this fourth wave orange, pushing it to the right and thinking, hey, maybe there is a way for this one to still extend, but I think it's just morphing into this maybe larger fourth. It doesn't look like a head and a couple of shoulders, but there is still room for this one to decline up into 82. That would be a 38.2 retracement, and this fourth wave, and you would have, this like a B wave in here. So either ABCX, ABC, or diagonal up into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, if you do lose this area in here, it might be hard to regain it for a while or something, but, you'd probably move back there towards 82 if you lose that. I think that would be the take. And then, I think some serious support can come up at these levels, although there's really nothing in terms of like heavy price action until, I don't know, maybe around 75K. I'm not saying we're going there, but this is this was a pretty kind of straight shot up from 75 to 90, 95,000. So far still holding. I'm still a believer in this fourth wave. In terms of being active in Bitcoin, I don't think there's nothing to do there. I mean, we can go and take a quick look at Bitcoin on the daily. Where are you? Right there. And see what's going on. But I talked to the members. I think I made a note or a video last week when I was not a video because I couldn't record, but on the daily drip I said, hey, that's a good signal, this white candle breaking, pushing above there, but then the following day, that got dismissed. We basically failed, closed below it, and so yeah, that break got quickly dismissed the following day, and then we closed below that low, and then that was the end of that signal. And now we're below those moving averages, below the 20, below the 50, and until we try to recapture them and maybe even get back above this high, I would not be too excited about being long Bitcoin. Now you're at support and it could work, but it's just not my style to do that at the moment there. Okay, so that was, these are my thoughts on Bitcoin. Let's see if, taking a look at the dollar, very strong close right up at the high. It's been non-stop rallying here since, what was this, the end of September. So, I mentioned this several times that the equities will struggle. Obviously, we all know that when the dollar is strong, that's going to put a risk on equities, and they've been holding well. I was expecting, the equities to actually deteriorate a bit more with the dollar being so strong, and I'm like, why aren't they selling off? So I don't know what kind of a signal dollar continues to send here. Even gold and silver have been holding pretty well, right? So how surprising that is. That means that they're probably just not done with their move yet, and gold is looking here to probably try for another high, if this is maybe like a little bit of a triangle before it corrects a bit more. And now we're just kind of back at the beginning there. So let me talk for a bit about a couple of stocks. Energy was doing really good. So one of the stocks that we have and we own is this VST. Looking very nice in here, trying to break and close, I think, at the new high. Very nice pattern here, very nice structure. I would expect to continue to go based on this close and based on this pattern. You also have a nice, these are daily charts, a nice daily volume above average there. And, if you lose, Friday's low, right, that's a signal to get out of there. But so far that looks pretty good. And then CEG also made a monster move. So we're long this one, and this one was up like 24%. And it made for, a few things that I had to close, one of them being Square, which I think we got long. I'm not sure, somewhere here. And then, I held it into the 50-day, nice reaction, but then, then it failed again. So this is the type of stuff that if, they fail, you got to get out of there no matter what, the trade is wrong. It's not panning out. So with CG, yeah, short move, like 25%, closing to new highs in here. But whatever they did, some kind of an acquisition or something. And, we'll see if you're starting to come back, and you can try to close this gap. It is a huge gap, though. I would not want to see it being closed, right? I would probably be out of there way before that happens. But definitely, I'm going to try to stick with it for a bit and see if it has more strength here over the next couple of weeks, hopefully. Spotify is another one that, looks good or looked good, and you could see, that candle right there closing up, and now you're back below it into the 50-day moving average. So that's a signal of a failed move. So I'm not going to let it, if it closes below the 50-day, I will probably be out of there, because, that means that the stock failed and it was just a little B-wave rally and you're looking for the next leg lower. Another one that I got interested in is INTA, nice ABC, right? Playing with this B-wave top. So usually these are nice signals. If it's an X wave, then we're going to lose probably the low of today, of Friday's low. And if we lose that, that means that that's a failed X, and we're probably going to correct again. So for right now, it looks good. I like it, but we'll see. So again, in conclusion, let me go back to these charts here versus 200-day. We're still fine. The closest one again being NYSE. But these moves in here are telling us to play defense, right? There's few stocks that still look good, and they have nice high volume. They're trying to break up. We'll see if they can hold with the market that wants to be weak. If next week we're going to get a nice white candle with quite a bit of buying, that will give me quite a good confidence, that we could be done, but it still feels very early. So let me know what you think in the comments. Come and find us on elliotwavecafe.com there on Substack. Subscribe to us, and I do those daily reviews videos. Sometimes when I can't do it, I write, but most of it's video reviews of the daily price section, Bitcoin, some altcoins. XRP still holds well. I mean, look at the last week video. I think I talked about it. But anyhow, thanks for watching, and I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.